in just a second, I'm going to tell you a story that's actually a warning for all of us leaders that we want to pay close attention to in the current day and age that we find ourselves trying to conduct business. But before I do, I want to share quickly, I was reminded by reading an article a couple of days ago about two dynamics in business that single-handedly can raise or lower profitability by as much as 6 times. After the story, the warning, I will share these two dynamics and what you and I can do to benefit from this information in such a way that we can have more success, more motivation, and more of what we would all love, positive impact in our business and in the world around us. So here's the story. The story is about a young leader, a gentleman just a few short years ago that graduated with a degree, a new degree in business called Business Information Systems. As we are in this new world of technology and things need to integrate and communicate, there's this new degree, Business Information Systems. And as he graduates near the top of his class with this degree, young Ricardo is recruited by Fortune 100 companies all over the country. When he looks at his opportunities, there's one particular company. It's a bank, in fact, the largest bank in the world at the time, that is recruiting him for their leadership team. And he makes a decision to apply for this opportunity. What he doesn't realize is that he's part of a group of 3,000 people that were recruited for 7 spots. And he goes through the entire recruiting process from 3,000 down to 500, from 500 down to 100, down to 30 that go on a screening trip. And in the end, he's chosen for one of these 7 spots. What's cool about these leadership spots is that young Ricardo gets to spend a year and a half working in different areas of this bank to really determine where he would love to apply his talents for the long term of his career. It's really a dream opportunity. And after all of the work to get the opportunity, a year and a half of finding the right spot, he lands in the International Banking Communication System and goes to work on an ambitious project to hook up this bank's U.S. technology and communication system with their system in Mexico, which is where he was born. And as a dual citizen, this opportunity to help the banking system in Mexico and the U.S. communicate is something that is a dream opportunity for him. And he works on that opportunity for a couple of years. About 3.5 years into his career with this bank, he looks around and he realizes that as awesome as this is, as much as he has done to land this coveted role in their leadership department, the day in and the day out of working in this particular corporate environment, and to be working on the initiatives and the mission that this particular bank had identified was important to them. And that's part of the key answer of where we will be headed in a moment. It doesn't serve him. He realizes that there's not the meaning that he was looking for in his life and in his work, pouring his sole effort into helping this bank. And he calls me up one day and he says, I'm thinking about leaving this opportunity and I'm going to go work for this small startup company, this company that's in a position where it needs my talents. But what I can tell you is the work in the world they're doing is really meaningful for me. And so he takes a pay cut, he takes a benefit cut, and he goes to work for this little startup. And you see, that's not, frankly, an abnormal experience for young leaders in the 21st century. You see, what are the two dynamics that companies that are 6 times as profitable have? An alignment between their culture and their core value. And if it's not something clearly defined in your business, I'm going to give you 4 steps today that you can do that'll absolutely help you capitalize on the opportunity to have clearly defined core value and culture fit. You see, because here's the deal. The young leaders in this 21st century, 75% of employees say it's very important to them today to know they're working for a company that has defined core values and a difference they're trying to make. 65% of people report they would be willing to forego a fancy title or even take a pay cut before they would be willing to deal with poor work environments. Think about that. They'd rather have lower pay and be in a positive place than make more money and be in a negative or toxic work environment. 45% of employees say that the leadership in their organization, now here's the dilemma we face. 75% of employees say it's super important to them. 45% report that their leadership is either minimally or not at all committed to improving the culture in the work environment. So that creates a massive disconnect. Really important for us to know that we want to make sure that we clearly have defined company core values, that we have a mission that we're on as an organization, and that we have a culture that is aligned with those core values. And for a lot of leaders, that becomes the challenge. It's easy to come up with flowery words that we would love to have as far as the core values of our company and the culture that we want. But the only way that we really know that those core values are alive is when you can see and feel them active on a daily basis in the organization, and that's the culture part. So let me give you 4 steps, 4 ways in which you can create greater alignment, greater engagement between your core values as a company and the culture in which they come alive, okay? The first one is this: keep them short and simple. One of the things I notice in working with business leaders is oftentimes they've got very flowery and often difficult or complex ideas that they try to put into their mission statement and their core values. Keep them simple because you want people to be able to engage with those core values by memorizing them. As soon as they're memorized, they're inside of us. And when they're in us, we can express them externally. So keep them short and simple. The second thing is to stay specific. Be very specific to the things that matter to you. So keep them short and simple, number 1. Number 2, be very specific. In other words, you don't want 19 different core values. My suggestion is we have many, many different things that are important to us. But the human mind can only keep at most a handful of them front and center. So for my company, we have 5. My suggestion is 3 to 5 things that are really at the center of the core values that you have as an organization, so they can be specific and simple. So number 2, be specific, shorten up the number of them. Number 3, make sure that your core values address both your internal goals and desires and some external impact. So let me give you an example of one for us as an organization that fits that mold. It's our second core value of love and care. So at the Brave Thinking Institute, we believe in love and care. We bring sincere love and care to every interaction. We delight and surprise each other and our clients by anticipating wants and seeking to exceed expectations. So that has both an internal component and an external component. So you want to make sure that your core values identify internal and external goals. And the last one, super important, is keep them authentic. Keep them tied to the true spirit of your organization. Not every organization is exactly the same, and it shouldn't be that way. It would be great if they're unique, but more important than unique core values is authentic core values. What really is the spirit of your organization? So you do those 4 things and you're going to have a major step up in keeping your team engaged and aligned. Reward behavior. This is a 5th bonus one. Reward behavior when people are expressing the core values at a high level. When you have a high level of performance and you can easily see that it ties to one of your core values, reward that. You'll see it expand, you'll see your core values and the culture shift. Because the culture comes when the core values are alive in the actions that your team is taking. This has been Monday Morning Mindset. My name is John Boggs. I am the founder of the Business and Leadership Division of the Brave Thinking Institute. It's my pleasure to be with you. And Monday Morning Mindset's all about where we put on an idea, we get a tool, a concept, a strategy that we can put into action for the week so that we can turn ordinary into extraordinary. I look forward to being back with you again next Monday for another Monday Morning Mindset. Until then, take care and make it a transformational week. Bye-bye.